Hey everyone! How's everyone
Hi.
doing? We'll have to see if we have anybody joining us. I think people are going to slowly start coming in. There's sometimes ads. I'm so glad you can do this with me, Jill. Thanks for the great idea.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. It is cold here this morning. We're coming into autumn and it is actually quite chilly. And it's quite strange that you're evening and I'm morning.
Hey, Reen. Reen has her own emo bag cut out. So she gave me a little sneak peek of what she's doing. It's really, really cool. She has a very different face on it.
Oh, exciting. I'd love to see that. Please post that in Kim's group when you're finished, Raina, and I'd love to see it. Hi, Adrina.
Hi, Adrina. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Lynette. Oh, Tampa Bay,
You're
Florida.
from, oh, it must be getting warm in Florida now, is it? I'm picking. Yeah.
Connie, you're in Maryland. Where in Maryland are you? I'm in Frederick. Yeah, you better, Reen. You better be posting it. It looks really, really fun. Oh, Elton. You're not that far. Maryland's a pretty decent sized state, but that's not that far.
I feel left out. There's a lot of water between me and you guys.
We tried to find a time that everyone would be available, but it's Monday for you in the morning, so people might be working.
Yeah.
But at least this will be recorded.
Yeah, a lot are. It was fine. They can watch it later. It'll be fun doing it anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't we just go ahead and get started? Hey, Joseph.
Hi.
Okay. So today, Jill and I are going to be making something called the Emo Bag. It is like this. Right now it comes with a happy face and a sad face. So Jill's showing hers. Jill, you mentioned that you printed yours, what, like 90%?
90%. Yeah. I
Yeah,
only
and
had
then
this
this is
much of
100.
my pink vinyl.
It looks so cute though. Irene is promising to come
Oh,
visit you and bring fabric.
oh, please. Oh, I'm in love. Yep, definitely.
Okay, so the Emo Bag it's a free bag, or a free pattern, I should say. And I'm not even sure I would call it a pattern. It's pattern pieces. So I created just some pattern pieces to help people practice sewing circles and circle bags. So Jill had a great circle bag challenge in her group. We had some amazing entries. I know people were really nervous about circle bags. So I wanted to help people at least have something free to try so that they can, kind of play with the curves. So if anybody doesn't have this pattern, go join my Facebook group for a code to get it for free. Otherwise, you have to pay on my website. But I did put the link in my description so that you all have it. But we thought we'd sew this up to show you how to put it together, since it's really just pattern pieces and no instructions. So Jill had a great idea of, let's just go live and do it ourselves. Jill also doesn't have the instructions. They're just in my head.
So Kim is going to tell me what to do.
I'm going to try to tell her what to do. We'll see. We'll see if even I mess this up. Okay, but it's a pretty simple bag. So I'm going to attempt to switch cameras. Jill and I had problems earlier. So let's see if this will actually work. All right. Can you hear me?
We're both in our overhead. I can hear you fine. Can everyone else hear us both?
I'm getting feedback though. Hold on. All right. Is that better? Can you hear me? Hello? If anyone can hear me, can you type into the chat? Hmm. Can anybody hear me? Can you hear Jill? Okay, you can hear me, but now I've lost Jill. Yeah, I don't see Jill either. She disappeared. Let's see if she joins back. No echo here. Jill is gone. Isn't this fun? Lives are great. Let me see if she's messaging me. 1 second. I didn't touch her screen. No, and I still see that she is not connected anymore. Oh, wait. I think she's coming back. All right, let me add her back. You're back.
Okay, that's better. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was just easier when I got lost to get out and come back in.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't doing anything, so I don't know what happened. There you go. We can fix it. Your happy face is upside down. You can turn it the right way now. We're both here. It looked like a sad face because you had it upside down. Okay. Hi, Ray. Nice to have you here.
Jill, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Yep. Okay.
We are back. We are live.
All right. Here we go. That was a good time. All right. So the first thing that that we're going to do is we're going to start to put together our gusset. So if you have already put together all of your appliques, we didn't want to painstakingly go and sew the appliques live because we're both talking and we're both very slow when we sew appliques. I actually filmed sewing this back applique, and that video will post tomorrow on my YouTube channel just so you could see how I like to sew regular appliques. That's just a regular applique. Jill was smart and sewed it as a reverse applique. So that's I like
Make it
reverse
weirder.
appliques better. See that? How pretty that is. So she did
I
both.
just
She did
find it
a
easier
regular
with the
applique for the
reversed.
tears.
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so
Just
once you
changes it
have
up a
this
bit.
ready to go, we were also talking about bag labels. I put mine on the inside. So whatever is easier for you. Jill did a pretty tag. I love that idea. It's brilliant.
It's just a dog tag scenario. I just hang it on my D ring with a strap. Yeah.
Okay, and then you're gonna have these other pieces. These are your gusset pieces. You're gonna have 2 D-ring connectors. I'm using 1-inch hardware, so mine are exactly the size that's in the pattern. Then you're going to have your parts for your zipper panels. So you're going to have 2 of those plus lining. So 2 outer and then 2 lining. Then you're going to have the bottom part of your gusset. So there would be a wider piece and then also a lining piece for that too. So those are all your pieces.
Now, I have put Decaville in the middle of mine because my vinyl is really light. Do you recommend that, Kim, or not really?
You know, it
Like just in the
depends.
middle, out of the seam.
Yeah, mine is pretty thin too, so I did the same thing. I use something called Profuse Stiff. So in the US, you can get that at Waywack. Oh, hi, Stacy. But yeah, I recommend putting something in there. I've also tried
Right.
this with foam. I thought it was a little overkill to put foam in here. It
Okay.
was a little too thick. But it depends on how structured you like your bags. I think Joseph's on here. He and I love really structured bags, but Joseph, even with how structured we like bags, even Decaville Light's enough. I don't think you need more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a fan of structure. Yeah.
I like it really, really, really structured. And then the other thing you're going to need, some sort of a strap. I already made my straps, so that we have to make it here. You will need a zipper cut to the size of your zipper panel. I have some binding. I'm even going to use self-adhesive binding for this. You can use any type of binding method you like and any type of binding. You'll need 2 D-rings. You'll need a zipper pull. And then
Do you use 1 or 2 zipper pulls?
You can use either. This is a pretty small bag, so I'm just using 1. But whatever, using some rivets too, just to help secure the D-ring connectors, but it's not required. I just like the extra
So I'm
safety.
using cotton bias, and I will do that the way I normally do, which might be an interesting way of people seeing that. It's a little bit different.
I would love to see it because I am not a fan of binding, even though most of my patterns have binding.
I love my cotton. It just isn't bulky. It's nice and fine. But I make my own with a really cheap bias binding maker.
We'll see. I'm a little lazy and I like to fold it once and I'm done. So, okay, so let's start with the D-ring connectors. You can put a strip of like Decaville Light or something in the middle if you want it to be a little bit more stiff. I'm not, because I forgot, but you can, you can. It looks like, Jill, you did. But go ahead and mark your middle of your D-ring connector. And I like to just use a regular pen to do it. So it's just 1 inch in, since they are 2 inches
Of course, my
wide.
ruler's missing. I'm going to be a bit different. I'm going to really make short D-ring connectors because I'm trying a new thing that I was suggested, and I think I like it, but I'm not sure.
Ooh, what was suggested?
Oh, just the really fine ones that they just show above the where they're sewn in. And apparently it gives the bag less swing off your swivel hooks, but I guess I will yet find out because I haven't tried it.
I'm always nervous about doing that because I don't know if I can get as close as I want
Right.
with
Yeah.
my top stitching. Okay, so I'm just putting a couple of pieces of double-sided tape because I love tape. You don't have to do this. I'm putting 2 pieces of double-sided tape, 1 on each side, and I'm going to fold this into the middle. I fold this to my line. And this will make it 1 inch. So we'll do that with both of them.
I'm not sure, Linda. Kim, is the Profuse a lighter weight or is it stiffer than Decaville?
It's a little stiffer. It's a little
Okay.
stiffer and it stays better than Decaville Light.
So is it thicker or is it quite thin still?
It is the tiniest bit thicker than regular Decaville Light.
Okay. So when someone comes to visit me and brings fabric, they can bring me some.
Well, you know, it's funny. I was just talking with another bag maker and she was saying, you know, hey, remember how you promised you would send stuff if I needed it? And if it was like worth it, right? And she was going to order things. So I might have to send her some things. So if you have other stuff you want from the US, you just want like 1 big package.
Well, my
I can do
daughter has
that.
just moved to the US. So she might have things absolutely turn up on her doorstep and have to send them to me.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Well,
awesome,
I
Rain.
can give
Thank
you the
you.
link if you want her to order it and then just have it, you know, put in a package for you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So are we going to
Oh,
sew down each side of these?
so now we're just going to sew down each side using 1/8 of an inch seam allowance.
Okay. Right.
I
Yep.
like to use, because I don't like to change out my presser foot. I do not have an industrial. I have a quilting machine. So for me, my presser foot will stick. So I
Oh,
use
okay.
something called thread lubricant, and I get mine again from Wawek. And a thread lubricant I just put on here just so that my foot doesn't stick to the vinyl and I don't have to switch out to like a Teflon
Okay.
foot.
I've got a narrow foot on my Duty, which I love. I don't have to switch it out for anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I use. It's a narrow hinge zipper foot, but it's not an
Yeah.
industrial, so it still sticks.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to know how loud my machine sounds. My mic is meant to have a noise canceller on it, but
It doesn't sound that loud.
oh, good.
Oh, Amazon's trying to tell me something. It just went off.
Wants you to buy something. That's what it wants.
Probably.
I see a lot of streamers having an Amazon shop set up where people can buy stuff through their links. Have you looked at
Yes. Yeah, but I just got fired from Amazon because I didn't have it set up right.
that?
I
I don't,
did.
because I buy from Amazon Australia because of the shipping. Well, usually, sometimes Amazon UK actually, but so I don't know if it would work for me.
Okay, so the other thing that I do just to make it a little easier for myself when I go to put everything together is I go ahead and slide these through my D-rings and I just base the ends together. You can also clip. It's just I tend to just want to stitch it just
I
to
like
make
it
my
based,
life a
but then
little
it doesn't
easier.
move. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they look
So,
ugly if they move.
yes. They can get misaligned.
Yeah. And that's as bad as baggy lining.
Oh, it's the worst.
We've all got our own pet peeves, haven't we? Okay, so mine are all
Okay, so now you should have them. They're all pretty.
done. Yep.
Okay, so put those aside. We're going to work on our zipper panel. So grab the 4 pieces. So those are the 2 skinny ones, or the 4 skinny ones, I should say. And your zipper.
I'm using my rainbow zebra. I love this
That's
zip
so pretty.
because you can put any color zipper pull on it. It's so cute.
I love it. Well, I have a stripe too, but it's not as nice.
Oh, it's the same one. That's funny because that's what I had out to use. Oh, we would have had the same zip.
That's funny. Okay, so I do mine. I don't know if you do yours the same way, but I like to use a lot of tape when I do
Yep.
zippers. So I put a piece of tape along each long side of my pieces. So on the
I
right
do when I'm
side.
online. It's just easier on a tutorial to have it all stay together.
Yes. I do all the time. I don't like wobbly zippers.
No.
Oh, Reen says that she's on it. I think she means like sending you things.
No, she's going to bring it for me. She's going to come visit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Reen, put me
That'll be
in your
awesome.
suitcase. I want to come. I'm really little.
We'll have our own bag retreat. Excuse me.
Why is your bag so heavy? Oh, it's fine. I just have lots of stuff.
It's fabric.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fabric. You can just wrap me in fabric, Reen. I'd be really happy. That'd be cozy.
You know,
Okay.
fabric is really heavy to send. Like vinyl is so heavy to post.
It really is.
So we're just doing a sandwich, a zipper sandwich like normal.
We are doing a
right
zipper
side down.
sandwich. So I like to start with my outer piece. And I take my backing off. Oops, not all of the double-sided tape, just the backing. I'm using a less tacky type of tape. So it doesn't always stick really well. Okay, so then you're going to take your
Double-sided
zipper.
tape is not created equal.
It is not. So you're going to lay this so that it's right sides together. I just try to line it up as best as I can to like that edge. I do cut my zippers a little bit longer than they need to be because I never know how I'm going to end up lining it up, how well I'm going to do.
It's one thing I find with waterproof canvas, my double-sided tape does not stick to it very well.
That's why I like the stuff from Wawak that's here. Have your daughter order some. It's called Hyperstick tape.
Okay.
And hyper stick tape, I always describe it as it's strong like super glue. It's really, really, really strong. And it sticks to anything. But that's also the issue, is it does stick to anything. So then you're going to take your lining and also place it down.
I just put that on the wrong way. This is hard to figure out the right side of this double-sided tape. Yeah, I mean this waterproof.
That's how this is too. I just kind of feel it and no one's going to know.
Yep. That's fine. It's the right way around now.
Don't even actually think mine's lined up the right way. It's fine. I'll be okay. Okay, now at this point you can either clip or just start sewing. I'm just going to start sewing because I don't think I need clips on top of it. So I'm going to sew using an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I like to use a 3mm stitch length on my machine.
Yeah. I go with just over a 4 on my.
All right, so once you're done, you're just going to turn this. I just like to press it down. Then turn it around and pull out the other side. So now your 2 pieces are together and your zipper's kind of sticking out. All right, here's a little trick that I do. At this point, I do use clips. I clip these 2 pieces together so that it pulls it nice and tight, so the edges are even. And then we can top stitch. So just like any other zipper for any other bag, we will be top stitching. I use a lot of clips. Again, I end up using my thread lubricant again because of how my machine.
And sorry for those viewers who are OCD, I'm not putting matching colors on. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I wasn't going to say anything. Oh,
there
Julie,
was a
do you
time
like
that
it?
I did.
This is somebody got it. A friend got it for me from Disneyland in California. So it's a poison apple. I think it was for the Disney anniversary. They had a bunch of different ones. So it's a mug actually. I use it for my clips.
It is really cool. Very cool.
Okay, I'm going to use probably about a 4.5mm stitch length for this, and I'm going to stitch about 1/8 of an inch away from this fold.
Yep.
I'm hoping everyone can kind of see my machine. I know it's a little far away.
I think you can probably see yours better than mine. Excuse me, my voice is really croaky. Oh, I slipped off, wouldn't you know it?
Uh-oh.
Only when you're on a live, eh?
Well, that's not
good.
That's
okay. We can fix it. We can fix it.
It'll be okay. Everything's fixable.
Certainly is. I just hate having to then pull the ends through when you go back and knot them through the back.
True. Okay. I'll let you fix that, but I'll let everyone know what's next. So we're going to do the same thing with the other 2 pieces, just on the other side of your zipper. So you're going to remove your backing, line up your zipper tape with the edge. Actually do it this way, I think, just so they can see. Because again, my zipper's a little long. So if your zipper's a little long, you want this piece to line up with the bottom piece here. And then you can line up the rest. Something that you should keep in mind with zippers like the ones I'm using, they can stretch. So just be really careful that you're not pulling on it while you're stitching.
And if
Other
anyone's
zippers that
interested
are
in how I'm
mostly like
repairing this,
polyester that are tighter, like of a weave, don't do that.
yeah.
Hey, Jessica. Oh, I didn't even see Delva was on here. Hello. Glad you can join us.
Hi, Jessica.
Hope everyone's having a good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Nighttime for me. I do have to work tomorrow, but I work from home tomorrow, so I can hang out. Otherwise, I'm in bed early because I have a long commute to work.
It's those commutes that are the killer, eh?
They're awful. Like my commute's anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours each way
Oh,
because of traffic.
that's
I'm right
nasty.
outside of Washington, D.C., and traffic here is terrible.
Would have been quicker to undo this, but this vinyl really shows the holes. So if anyone's interested in what I'm doing,
I want to know what
I've
you're
cut
doing.
it way back further. So I'm cutting it back because I've slipped off. I've unpicked it and I'm pulling my threads through into the middle. And then I'm going to do the same with my one that I patch in. I'm just going to start where I finish, knock them off inside there like that. So you can't
in
see
between
it.
the layers?
Yes.
Oh. Well,
And
that's
then when it's
smart.
done, you actually can't tell that you had because it's easier than trying to get in the holes where you missed it before.
Yeah, I find I end up repairing a lot of mistakes.
And that's in the hole. Ah, that's not good. That's my needle just gone down in my machine. So you carry on, Kim. I'll catch up.
Okay. All right, so we're going to stitch this other side at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, just like the other one. I'm just going to put my stitch length back to 3 millimeters here. I lengthened it before. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing that we did and push out each of these panels. And then we're going to clip. I really have to pull the waterproof canvas sometimes. It does not want to hold. I know circle bags can be intimidating, but I'm telling you, practice. Practice with curves and going really slow is really helpful.
You know, I find with bag making, learning how to repair mistakes without them being noticeable is as much of a skill as sewing the bag.
I sometimes spend more time repairing or like fixing mistakes than I do sewing the bag. I get excited and then I make mistakes, or I'm tired and I'm like, no, but I
And
can
you,
finish it. And then I'm so tired
yeah.
and bleary-eyed and I make mistakes. You have
I
to
don't
know
know if
when to
anyone else
stop.
has found this, but since I had COVID last time, my brain just does not work the same as it used to. And I have to think through this process of everything so much more.
Oh, that's me with my thyroid issues.
Yeah.
And fibromyalgia, that causes brain fog too.
Yep, it does.
So that's fun. Okay, so then we're going to do 1/8 of an inch top stitching. I like to lengthen my stitch length to, I think I'm at 4.5 on this machine. And I am sewing on a Juki TL18.
It
If
should not be
anyone's
taking you
looking
this long.
for a new machine, the Juki TL18 can sew up to a 70 text spread weight. That's what I use.
I love the 70 tech. It just gives you such a nice top stitch.
Doesn't it? I don't even know if you can see it. There you go. You can see the stitching better. But yeah, it really gives it like a really defined stitch. Oh, thanks, Julie. She says we both have amazing tutorials. Oh, and thank you,
Thank
Dalva.
you.
She's reminding everyone to hit the like button because it does help us.
Oh, that's nice.
And follow
That's
our
nice.
channels, please. Jill, what machine are you sewing on? You said you have a Juki? What's the
Yeah, it's a
model?
DU 1181. Yeah, it seems to be the standard industrial for bag making. I must say, I have had a lot of industrials in my sewing career, and the new ones are extremely fussy. They are not at all like the old industrials.
I feel like that's with every type of machine, though.
Yeah, it's just they're not the same. I think it's everything, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. I
Oh,
shall catch up. You carry on. I've just got to
Reen
do the
has a
other
question.
side.
If you sew your zipper panels before you put a pull on the tape, put the zipper pull on the tape before you start sewing the bottom. Wait, what? If you sew your zipper panels before you put a pull on the tape, put the zipper pull on the tape before you start sewing the bottom gusset. Oh, Reen forgot to put her zipper pull on her gusset and then sewed the bottom part of the gusset on, is what she's trying to say. I was not
That's a me trick.
comprehending. Yeah, I've done that a lot. I made a shirt
There's a club for
that
that.
talks about that. I'm also a really slow sewer too. I like that I can blame it on my thyroid. Julie, I never thought of blaming it on my thyroid. That's exactly why I'm slow. Sure. Cindy has both of our machines.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hey, Tony. We have somebody else from Florida. I'm a slow sewist because I overthink. Dalva, there's a lot of reasons why I'm a slow sewist. I am very particular about how everything looks, and yeah. So I'm super slow. So once you have this on, I'm going to let Jill go ahead and sew that. But once you have this in place, I leave it clipped. It's going to help you later. So I just leave my clips on. This is when I put my zipper on. Now I use either let me pull it. Let me show you what I was using. I have my very own zipper jig, which is a fork and a spring clamp. So I would clamp the fork onto like my machine bed, like over here, and I use this as a zipper jig. You just put this on here, and you slide your zipper on, your zipper tip on. But I have a new fancy zipper jig that is also from Wawak. They sent it to me because they saw a video of me using a fork, and they're like, "Oh no, you need to try our zipper jig. We can't let you do that." So I have I have a pretty zipper jig from Wawak. So
I
I
love
put
that. That is cool.
my pull
Boy,
on.
I don't use the zipper jig either.
You don't? Do you do it with your fingers?
I have a towel, one of those towel holder things, that everybody was using for a bit.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing a tutorial these days with my new setup with my industrial, since I've got it, it's just too much hassle to go over the other side of the room and get it.
Yeah. So I like the zipper jig, but I have to say, I still like my fork better because it stays in place better. Like this zipper jig tends to move around and it bugs me.
Right.
So here's like my 4th attempt at trying to put this in to make it line up right. There we go. It works. It's just, I don't know. I like my fork better. But this at least folds. So if you are traveling and you're making bags and you're going on retreats, this might be a good option because it does fold down like that. Like it folds flat.
Right. So that time I didn't slip off and it's all finished. Cool. So I'm using my coffee zipper pull. I've got a little coffee cup. I like my little
that's
coffee
cute.
cup. He's cute. Yes, I'm a coffee fan.
I used to drink a lot of coffee until it made me sick, and now I can't. It's sad.
I must say, since I actually had my thyroid out, so once I got really bad, I had to change to decaf, but it's okay.
Even decaf makes me sick, so I can't. It stinks.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. Yep.
No, not at all.
Okay, I think I've caught up. Let's
Yay! Go. Okay, so you have 2 choices. Either you can go ahead and baste the sides of your zipper panel, or you can go ahead and baste on your D-ring connectors. I've done it both ways. I tend to just leave this as is and just put my D-ring connectors on, put the rest of my zipper panel together, and then I stitch all the way around the edges, just for efficiency's sake. So what Jill was talking about was she likes to, or she's going to try keeping her D-ring connector really short, the part that sticks out. I like to keep mine a little longer because I put a rivet through. So that's why these are as long as they are. I keep this above this edge here of my zipper about 1 inch.
I'm still going to have enough room to put a rivet in, but I'm going to be sewing really close to my D-ring.
How close
so when
are you
it's
sewing?
turned, there's only the tiniest little bit of my D-ring showing. Yeah.
How much are you going to keep above the panel?
Oh, at the most to the top of the D-ring. Oh, you mean above this end?
Yeah.
Probably about 1 centimetre. So that's about 3/8.
I wonder if I should try doing something a little tighter.
So I've just cut yours in half, and that's what I'm using. If that makes
I'm nervous
sense.
about 3/8. Okay, I'm going to do 7/8. So I'll try to. I'm going to live on the edge and do 7/8.
So you're going to sew right around yours, including the zipper, the D-ring tabs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I live near Chenova? Chenova lives in like around Baltimore-ish, so I may be an hour away, something like that. I always forget that she lives so close. All right, so you're just going to baste this down, so kind of get close to the zipper panel, about 1/8 of an inch away. So I just basted in place. It does not have to be perfect. Mine, I think, is even misaligned. It's fine. Oops. I found out that there's a lot of bag makers near me. I didn't realize it until pretty recently. Okay. I think we're in good shape. All right, so that's what it should look like. Thing of beauty. Now you're going to take your...
I've gone ahead and basted right around mine.
Did you?
The zipper. Yeah.
I haven't yet. I will.
Get my clips out of the way.
So now you're going to take the bottom part of your gusset and put it right side together. Once my layer starts to get a little thick, I switch to these types of clips. These are small binder clips,
Right.
so that I don't end up stressing my plastic clips, and then they crack and then they break. So I like to use these. And they last a really long time. I've only broken maybe 2, but only because the little metal thing came off and I couldn't find it. So that's right side together, and then you'll get your lining, and you're gonna put it on the back with the lining, right side of the lining to the right side of the lining. Oh, my camera changed for some reason.
Oh, that's interesting.
How did it do that?
I don't know.
I haven't touched anything.
So the orientation of it's just changed.
Hold on. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see a hand. I'm just gonna let it like rotate and do things. Do I now need to just do this?
Yeah, putting your jig on a rubber mat might help. I'm just going back and reading them.
Huh.
So I went ahead and bought some of these plastic clips that are a bit longer. I don't know if you can see those.
Wait, it corrected itself.
I don't have the strength in my hand to use the binder clips.
Oh, I have those
so
too.
these are really great.
I just don't like them because they're not as strong as I want. So
yeah, that's true. The binder clips are strong.
Yeah. So I have those. Those are in the other container. So I have 3 containers with clips. So those are in here. I have these too. I have those, but I have these. Yeah, just like what you have.
Yeah. They're good. Do you use a piece of thick or a piece of vinyl? I always use a bit of folded vinyl as a hump jumper these days on my. I did have a piece of webbing that I had around my machine, but it's gone missing.
I have 2 different thicknesses of hump jumpers that I use.
Right.
Okay, so now you're going to stitch at, I like to stitch at 3/8 of an inch so that our top stitching shows up really well.
I think I might be too close to my D-ring. Let me look. Oh no, that'll be fine. I can top stitch that.
So you do the same thing on the other side.
You don't like the big metal clips either, Cindy? It's funny how we've all got our own little things that we enjoy or we like. Oh, I had a horrible feeling I twisted my lining. I haven't. I had extra milk in my coffee this morning and I've got this whole thing going on. I need to get off dairy, I think.
I skipped a stitch. I wasn't paying attention.
Because I was talking.
I'm fine now.
Mine wasn't quite big enough for my seam allowance on one of them.
Okay, so now you're just going to turn everything right side out. I turn everything right side out just so I can clip, and then I top stitch over my D-ring connectors.
Oh, you go right through the whole lot. That makes sense. Ah. See, she's smart, that's why. That's why she didn't baste hers before.
Yeah, and then I just stitched once all the way around.
Yeah.
On each side.
After the Barbie movie, pink got really popular in vinyl, and you cannot get any pink anywhere here. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, really?
This is the last of my pink. Yeah. I'll have to get some printed, I think.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Barbie movie until like way after it came out. So of course I had all these high expectations and I was like, oh, it's fine.
So do you top stitch now or after you've basted?
I top stitch and then I baste, but I go ahead and just get everything clipped while I'm at it because I do like to have those clips in place while I top stitch just so it's pulling that seam out all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I flip mine back around just because I have a flatbed machine and I go ahead and top stitch this way. That's how I do it. So I do use my thread lubricant again, my favorite thing ever. A little bit too much thread lubricant, whatever, it's fine.
I have had so much issues with my thread looping at the back on top stitch or anything thick. And I'm in test at the moment with a pattern, and so many of my testers are saying the same thing. So I've changed up my needle today. Excuse me. And it worked fine. So maybe that's what I did wrong. I didn't change my needle.
Sometimes I think if you get a little as simple as that.
I know.
Okay, so I just hand cranked most of this because I got nervous about that thickness. If you have an issue with skipping stitches, hand cranking is wonderful.
Oh, it works. Yeah.
Oh, this D-ring connector is really off. It's fine.
So I've just got enough to put a rivet underneath, and I've got my D-ring connector quite high, which I quite like the look of that actually.
Mine's just very
quite low, I should say. Yeah.
It's just not straight.
Oh. You've got time to fix it.
Nah.
I love that.
I don't sell my bags like once in a great while. I keep them as samples or I give them away, so it's fine.
I have got, because I haven't had any markets for the last couple of months, because I've just one thing or another, I'm getting a bit of a collection. I need to, do some with things.
Okay, so now is when I'm just going to baste all the way around where I clipped using 1/8 of an inch seam allowance just to kind of keep everything together. I do not bother using thread lubricant on this side because it doesn't matter. Oh, that was too fast. Turn my speed up. Oh, that's too slow. There we go.
So who in the chat uses their, oh, whoops, I've got a heart of it. Try turning your gusset. Yes, it probably would fit better. You're right.
Oh, hey, Kathy.
Should have turned it inside out. So what's everybody's preference for putting gussets and things onto the bag? Staples, tape? What's everybody's top tips?
I will be stapling.
I got my little stapler out. I've never used it, but I got it out. Just for today.
What did I just do? I hit my little scissors.
This is where I try it in the bag and it doesn't fit. I'm done. There you go. It's all finished. Looks like a cake tin. It's so cute.
It does. It's really adorable. I
My
love it.
gusset seems like it might be too big. That's not good for me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it is going to be too big.
What happened?
I did print everything at the
It's easier to make it smaller though.
Yeah, it is much easier to make it smaller than bigger. Let me look, how much have I got? No, it's definitely going to need to be made smaller. Okay. I'm taking one side out. Maybe I should double check.
Staplers. Oh, Reen says staples, binder clips, hemostats, and a couple of curses sprinkled for good measure. It's pretty much what I do too, Reen. Pretty much what I do too.
It sounds like a good comprehensive list.
All right. Well, basted.
I did reduce everything, but with putting the extra layer of interfacing on my circle, I think it has shrunk a little bit.
Oh. Well, that stinks.
Yeah, I should have checked that before I sewed that. But I do find some vinyls shrink so much with adding Decavil or something on the back.
I agree, and it really makes me mad.
Yeah.
This is so cute. I forget where these pulls are from, but I found smiley face pulls in my stash. There's a smiley face on
that's
one
so
side,
cool.
and then this other little face with his tongue sticking out on the other.
Oh, that's so cool.
So while Jill is repairing, we're just going to mark our centers. So I like to line up my seams with each other to find that, I don't even want to say center, just that alignment. And I clip those together, maybe. Yeah.
So now
And
the
that's how I
question
find
is,
my
how
center
much
up here.
smaller should I make it?
I'm just clipping little notches here so I can find the centers.
I think I shall go with about that. I don't recommend eyeballing the length of your gusset, but
But you're a pro.
Sometimes I want it to fit. Nothing worse than it not fitting properly and just forcing it to go.
Yeah.
That looks really bad on a bag.
Sorry for the arm in the way.
It wouldn't be alive without having to fix stuff.
Oops.
Right, so you
Okay.
carry on because I'm just about back. I'm just top stitching.
Great. All right. So we are going to start attaching our circles. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to find your centers, top and bottom, and then on your side. So you can either just fold it in half and put some snips or make some marks, and then fold it in half again on the other side, make some snips or marks. Do that with all 4 pieces of your circles. So your outer pieces and then your inside pieces too. That's how everything's going to line up. Because we already made our center marks in the gusset, we're going to match those. So if you want the front to be like a specific face, you're going to need to just kind of make sure your zipper is going the way that you want it to and figure out what's the front and the back. I want this part to be the front. So I'm actually going to line this up with this part of the gusset. So knowing that, I
You're
like
putting
to, because
the happy face at the front.
I want a happy face on the front. So I'm just marking
Okay.
my front of my gusset just with the clip so I remember. And then I flip this wrong side out. And now I'm going to line up my notch for my smiley face with the notch that's in this side of the gusset. I'm going to line up all my centers and I'm going to clip. Same with the bottom. So it's all right sides together. And then I just start clipping. Now, I normally use a gazillion clips. I don't know if I will with this one because I'm also going to staple. So I really just need it to make sure, you know, I have everything in place so that I can staple really well. Forgot to find out if my vinyl shrunk. I don't think so. I think I'm good. Yeah, we're fine. So you just go all the way around. I know somebody was mentioning to me that they use double-sided tape when they do this.
Right.
And then
I'm
they
going to
clip.
change mine here a little bit because I'm now going to put my, which I forgot, which I should have done. I'm going to put my binding, I'm going to baste it around the edge of both sides of my
Oh, yes.
gusset,
I know what
which
you're
is
going
what I
to do.
should have
Show
done.
us.
So where's my binding? I did have it. There it is. So I'm just going to baste my, so my binding is open on one side and folded on the other. So I'm going to put the wrong side, which I want the other end of it, of course, don't I? Should just get a piece that's about the right. Now I've got to join the right distance. I don't want to join where I'm going to go. So I'm going to put it on the wrong side so that the raw edge is next to my edge of the bag. And as I do it, I'm going to fold that over at a 90 degree like that when I start.
And how wide is your binding?
Let me look. It's never the same because I make my own. So folded, this is 3 centimeters. So it's been about a 4 centimeters, which is 2 inches cut fabric.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when I fold over, it's going to be, yeah. And I'm just going to just baste that around there and I'm not going to fold the other end. It's just going to come over the top. So I should have done that when I basted.
I keep meaning to try what you're doing. I haven't tried it yet.
Normally I tape it on the back so that you're just sewing on the flat side all the time. Yeah. So I'll just do this and then I will come back and catch up with Kim.
Oh, you know what?
With it being a circle, you can give it a slight stretch as you go because it's bias, and so you can just put a bit of pressure on it. Don't stretch it too much, just put a bit of pressure on it.
I got ahead of myself.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here hanging out, but I forgot a step. Everyone, no one stopped me.
What are we missing?
We need to baste the front panel to the lining. We have not done that. Then we put it on the gusset.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
So you want wrong sides together, okay? And just clip however you want. I just put a couple clips just to kind of hold it in place, and I baste all the way around the edges. Can't believe no one said anything. We're just moving right along. That's why I like these types of bags, though, because it's really, really easy. There's no like drop-in lining or anything, but then you do have.
But binding doesn't have to be as scary as what
Oh, it is though. You don't understand. I need it to look really pretty, and it doesn't ever look really pretty for me.
You should try this way sometime.
I'm gonna have to.
So we're turning that little at a 90-degree over like that, so it's the right side out when we start, and that is the key to making the end look all pretty. Normally I join it above the zip because you never see it, but now I've done it at the bottom. Never mind. Cool. My zipper pull just jumped back.
Uh-oh.
Cool. There goes my new needle.
Oh, did it break the
I
needle?
thought I was being really, yeah. I thought I was being really careful holding it out the way, but obviously not careful enough. That always freaks me out when that happens.
Luckily, you have glasses on, though.
I've never had an industrial, mind you, I'm using a size 20, but I've never had an industrial needle shatter like the domestic ones do. They're just so much thicker. They've also got a point in them where it's meant to break, like it snaps there rather than, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I used to work in a factory, and I was always like, this is gonna freak me out. Like the speeds we used to, go piecework. If it breaks.
What kind of factory was it?
Have you heard of Bendon?
No.
It's a bra factory. It's a makeup. It's a underwear, a lingerie company. I used to be a supervisor for them. Yeah. I always wonder whether I've got my needle in straight with these industrials. We'll get back to that. I honestly thought that was sitting out the way. So today everybody is seeing one of those sewing days for me where everything is going on. So don't forget to turn your machine off if you have to change your needle. Just popped in and said, never watched either of you, but I'm very familiar with both of you. Oh, that's so nice, Samantha. Thank you.
Oh, hi,
nice
Samantha.
to have you join us.
Welcome. I just lost a clip. Oh, there it is. All right. At this point, I trim my lining because I never cut it right. I'm always off with my lining fabric. So I just trim it down.
So mine looks a bit ugly because I've got all these rows of stitching around it now. I should have done it all at once. Never mind. You won't see any of it.
Nope.
So that's what I've got on my binding now. I've got on my gusset, I've got 2 lots of binding right sides together with the fold in the middle. The other side is not folded. Right, so I will now clip around the rest of it. So you put your zipper going to the right with the face, or closing to the right, obviously. Yep, opening to the right. Is that right?
Okay. Don't forget to put your lining on your front and back.
Oh, see, I nearly did it now. And I've done a little bit different because I've put a little circle pocket on mine. I cut one of my linings too small, so I folded it in half and made it into a pocket because I couldn't waste it.
I love it. I was going to put you know, give people pockets and everything for this. And I was like, you know what? This is just meant to be something really simple. Let's not get fussy.
Oh, but
But I like it.
people can dress it up
Yeah.
however they want.
I can't see where I marked my middle because I had something my way. There we go. So again, you're going to match your centers, right sides together. For real this time. Did you do it again?
No, I just put the pocket on. I didn't think about getting it up the right way.
Oh no.
Oh dear. That's okay. I have a cooking pick somewhere.
Look, we're just proof that nobody is perfect in the bag making community. I don't care what you see on YouTube. I don't care how people present themselves. I'm telling you right now, nobody. I don't care what they tell you. They are not perfect sewers. Hello from Victoria, Australia.
Ah, hello, Deanne. How are you?
Oh no.
Come in and watch me stuff up everything today.
Poor Deanne. I think I win today's sewing duh moment. Working on a different
What have you
pattern, I
done?
sewed all the way around a lining instead of just the two sides, and I had to rip the top back open.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, you haven't been watching very long, Dan, because I have repaired a lot today. Yeah.
We're having
But
fun.
I think it's good for people to see that we're just normal. Well, I am. Kim's made no mistakes.
I make so many mistakes every single time I sew a bag. See, Linda appreciates us, and so does Julie. Come to Kim and Jill. We'll show you all the mistakes.
We'll show you the professional way to fix mistakes.
You know what? That needs to be a YouTube series.
Okay, so if you're doing this, people, and you have a pocket, make sure the pocket is up the right way with the bag so that it opens the same way. Right. I'll do that again, just as well. That was just a basting stitch.
That's funny. See, this is why I'm really slow at bag making, is because I do make so many mistakes all the time. And I could have made this bag 20 times and I will still make a new mistake.
Oh.
I think this is my fourth one of these bags and I'm still messing it up. So, and it's such a simple bag. I get ahead of myself and I'm like, oh yeah, I should really make sure I'm paying attention and thinking this through. Okay, so this is what mine looks like now, once it's all clipped. So I do not have that binding strip on yet. So I'm going to be a little bit behind Jill. So I'm going to keep moving forward because I'm going to end up having to do binding differently. So at this point, I start stapling and I staple within the seam. So I use my basting stitch as my guide and I pretty much staple right on top of that basting stitch. And the other thing that I want to say is I staple with my my panel facing up so that the smooth part of my staples, when I do this, is facing the bottom of my machine. So I don't have prongs sticking out that could scratch the surface.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yep. That's smart.
Yeah. So I don't even know if you can see this. I'm stapling right on top of that stitch.
So it's just below. Okay.
And it's up to you how close you want those staples. I put them pretty much right next to each other. Because as you're stitching, your layers will start to kind of pull.
So do you find the need to trim anything, or you're right? You find it just as fine? I mean, to do snips or anything in it?
I do not. This is not a nice broad circle. I usually for circles I don't. If it's something that has like more of like a tight curve or a point, I will. Otherwise, I do not. Especially because I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I just don't think it's necessary. If I were doing like maybe a 3/8, I might. Because then you're going to need it to kind of conform more to a tighter curve. Yeah.
And I do think that perhaps that will start misshaping, you know, where you cut it, because it can give you a little V, can't it, or a little point, if that makes sense.
Depending on how close you get to those snips too, over time it can pull and rip.
Well, I'm pleased I shortened it because that fits perfectly.
No good.
I would have been disappointed if I hadn't.
I wonder why it did that though, if you printed everything at 90.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I know that the circle did look a little bit, it actually looks a little like an oval. So I wonder whether the vinyl has shrunk in one direction when I've pressed it. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, mine's fitting fine.
I think she takes the staples out, don't you?
I'm sorry?
You take the staples out when you're finished, don't you?
Yes.
Or do you leave them in? Yeah.
No, I take them out. It'll rip things.
Yeah. I think for me, I just struggle with the idea of then having to go through and take them out. You can get that little V thing, can't you? Like staple remover, but what do you use?
No, I use this. Hold on. It's from Boss Stitch, and it's like a little puller. And there's a magnet.
I've got one of those for my staple gun. Maybe I should grab that out of the shed. I'm bringing half of the tools in the house, eh?
I got mine on Amazon, and it was maybe like, I don't know, $5 or something. It was cheap.
Yeah, that's what's always put me off, Linda, and I've never used them. I've got my little stapler, but I'm going to try it, okay? I will try it. I give in, okay? This is beginning of an era. I didn't even know how to put the staples in yesterday. That's how much I had not used it. So hubby Googled Tim Holtz stapler, how to put the staples in. So you're putting them right on the very edge, is that correct?
I'm putting it right on my basting stitch, which was 1/8 of an inch, so it's perfect.
Does it not get in the way of your zipper foot? Like, I mean, your presser foot?
No. So this is what it should look like. All stapled.
Okay. I obviously don't know yet how far in to use my stapler or how much.
Make sure I have enough thread from out. Oh, I'm out. My bobbin.
Actually, I should check my bobbin too. I did wind a second one, but
yeah, I did too.
With all the stuff I've had to pull out, I'm sure I'm going to have to replace it.
Hey, something that is a little trick I sometimes use. I don't always use this, but I don't know if anybody has one of these magnetic seam guides, the really, really strong ones that have a curve. This is an extra large version. If you place this with the curved side, do you have one with a curve on it?
Mine's just flat at the top. That's kind of,
Yeah, I like the ones with the curve. Like I have an option. I have a curve on one side and flat on the other. The one with the curve is really helpful for things like just like piecing circles and things together. Otherwise, the flat one is also fine. Either way, if you wanted to, you could place this at that 1/4 of an inch, kind of marking on your machine. And then when you're sewing, you're just kind of butting right up against that guide as you're stitching along.
My narrow foot is great because the outer edge of my narrow foot is exactly 6 mil, which is 1/4 of an inch.
See, mine's 1/8 of an inch, so I always have to have something else. So
There you go. I use staples. Are you proud of me?
I'm very proud of you. How are you going to get them out,
I
though?
might curse you, and I don't know. I'll use an. I've got an old stiletto that is all bent. I'll use that.
And that's the Tim Holtz
Okay.
one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I have that too.
Yeah.
I like the bigger one for bigger bags like this.
Yeah, because these are tiny.
Yeah.
Right. So we start with that 1/4 of an inch. But he looks cute. Okay, let's sew it.
Okay. So
What can happen?
I like to place the back side, the flat piece of my bag, down on the base of my machine, and I stitch at a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So now you have the pokey part of the staples sticking up, and we're stitched all the way around. We are going to back stitch, so I staple at a 1/4 of an inch. Now, because of the way you're doing this with binding, Jill, are you going to do? I don't know how you're going to do this. So I'm leaving it at a 1/4 of an inch because when I put binding on, I'm going to do it at about a scant 1/4 of an inch when I stitch on the binding.
Yep.
So it's going to be a little
That's
different.
okay. So mine will be the 1/4 of an inch, and then when I turn it over, I'll do the other side exactly at the 1/4 inch. Or the scant 1/4 inch as well.
Okay,
In fact, my binding's a bit thick this today, but it's going to be a bit baggy. I don't like that, but never mind. We shall deal with it.
So I tend to kind of maneuver my gusset just so it remains flat. So I kind of play with it as I go. And just kind of move it around so it's always flat. Always pulling
Yeah,
it a
it's
little
easy
bit,
just to
which
push
is,
down as you go around. Yeah.
yeah, which is why staples help a lot because now you're pulling at those layers a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just go real slow. I do not go fast at all.
And if you've done binding like me, just make sure the binding stays down flat and doesn't pull back in towards your seam. And don't hit your zipper pull like I did before.
Before I end this, I do want to say, if you're a little nervous about your circles and you're not getting anything super smooth, things are still pulling, you can also use something called hemostats. These are some small ones from Creations. I like the small ones, they're easier to grip. You can actually just use these, they almost look like scissors, to pinch and lock the hemostats together. And this will help to kind of give you another grip as you're pulling this and stitching. And then you can just kind of let go and then pinch and grip the next section. And as you're sewing and keep going around, they're super helpful for really tight curves.
I must buy some. I haven't got any.
I love them. I use them for my heartbreaker a lot.
I bought your heartbreaker a few weeks ago. I must make it.
It is a more challenging one to sew because of that dip at the top.
Yeah. I like a challenge.
And after some practice.
When I'm not live and have to pull everything out.
Yeah.
How did you cut your circles so perfectly round? I actually cut mine on my scan and cut. And then for my lining, I found I have a bowl that was the perfect size. So I just cut around the bowl.
Oh, that's smart. So I cut my vinyl using my Cricut, but my lining I just did with a rotary cutter.
When I was looking through my bowls, I thought to myself, No, I've taken my staples out. I'm taking mine out now.
Yep, I'm taking mine out now. So this is how easy it is with this tool. I'm literally just putting it underneath the staple and twisting a little bit, and it comes right out.
I've got a bent, what do you call it? Pointy thing that I'm using because it's already bent. Just lifting one side of it and then getting my little pliers in to pull them out.
And yes, you could just trim off the area that was stapled, but I need the structure. So I like to leave at
Yeah.
least 1/4 of an inch seam allowance so that when I'm putting the binding in, it gives that bag that shape that I want. If I don't do that, it's a lot weaker and it doesn't stay as
Yeah.
stiff as I would like.
Cindy, I think with cutting the circle, I think the biggest difficulty for me is making sure you've got the circle drawn properly to start with. And for that, I have used a protractor in the past. Is it a protractor that we use in maths? You know, the thing that puts the pencil in it? Yeah.
Yes.
See, it's a while since I've been at school, so excuse me.
I
Just
don't
a
even
few
do that.
years.
So I design all of my patterns digitally. Like I don't draw things out.
Right.
So it gives me a circle, which is great.
So you just use your pattern piece to get the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are nervous about that, so like with this pattern, I give you the circle, right? The circle is a pattern piece. The easiest thing to do rather than laying the piece and just cutting the fabric down or cutting the fabric from the circle is draw the circle onto the back of your fabric or vinyl, then cut. Because you can kind of slip a little bit when you're using a rotary cutter or scissors if you cut just directly from that pattern piece.
But I'm not trimming my seam because I actually want to have as much as I can get because I like giving it actually does give more structure to the bag if you keep
It
your
does.
seam.
It
Do you
does.
trim yours, Kim?
I do not. I leave it alone.
So I've just tidied mine up. I had a few threads, so that's all I was doing was just tidying up those nasty little pieces. And I'll do the binding on this when you do your binding.
Yep.
It looks cute. I want to turn it around and have a look at it.
Isn't it cute? If you're nervous and you want to make sure you sewed this right, now is the time to go ahead and like flip and just make sure. Is everything looking okay? Right. Is it how you want it before you go and keep, stitching and binding and all of that? So
and the good thing about binding is giving this next scant stitch, it creates your reinforcement stitch, so you're not going to see your stitches pull through.
Right.
So I don't suggest doing a reinforcement
really good.
stitch.
And no puckering or anything, so I'm in good shape.
Yeah, mine looks, I think once it's turned, it will be fine. It does have a little bit of gathering. It possibly could have had another couple of mil taken out of it, but it fits together fine. So we're doing the next side now?
We're doing the next side.
Thank you, Julie. They are very cute. It is such a cute little pattern. Now, make sure you get your face up the right way. Do not put your face upside down. I'm sure someone will do that, like I did with my pocket.
Oh, I've done it before on this pattern.
Oh.
Which is why I also put my label in the middle so I know which is top.
Smart move. That's really smart.
I might actually have to use this bag. This makes me happy. I like my rainbow one that I did too, though. I have another one that I did as well, a couple of them.
I'm starting to collect bags at the moment. I've just made a new one for my new pattern that's coming out, and I'm like, no, I can't sell that. That's going to be my new bag.
That's how I feel about my clear one that I just did. I'm like, no, it's all mine.
Oh. And I really don't need another bag.
Neither do I, and I don't care.
Oh.
I did a tribute bag to Prince, the singer.
Oh, I saw that. It was gorgeous.
And it's mine.
Yes.
People have asked.
I'm not surprised.
I'm like, nope. Unless somebody wants to pay me $1 million, then maybe I'll consider it. But otherwise, it's mine.
But if I make another one of a special bag like that, it's never quite the same. Do you know what I mean?
I never make two of the same bag. Yeah.
Right. I think the most I make of a bag is when I'm doing prototypes for a bag, but once I've got it right, it's like, it's done now.
Same. I almost never make the bag again after it's released as a pattern.
I've got one that I just can't keep in stock, so I have to keep remaking that as a bag to sell. But other than that, no, I'm the same.
Well, see, I don't sell mine. I mean, if I do, it's just to make room for things. I'll probably like auction stuff off or something. But otherwise, I don't sell. It's too difficult around here. People want to pay like $10 for a bag. I'm like, no, thank you.
Well, there's as much time involved in selling the bags as there is making them. It's sort of kind of frustrating.
I'm like, try adding more zeros to that number.
Yeah.
Right. All right. I'm a little nervous because I do, after you've talked about like, is the face facing the right way? I'm looking inside just to make sure I'm good.
I suppose I should have opened my zip fully, but it is open a little bit.
I leave mine closed. It's easier to sew that way.
It holds the lining in place better.
Yeah.
They're even cute inside out, aren't they? But it should have had all pink clips on it because it would look better with all pink clips. Okay, back to my stapler. And we'll put them that way.
I need to know if I've converted you to using staples yet.
Well, it's worked for this. Let's put it that way.
That would be a no.
I think I might be lazy.
Well, I am
if too, I can hold it to get.
But this saves me so much frustration. It's actually easier
but
for
on
me
a bag
to do
like
this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see definitely on something that's got really fussy curves, definitely.
Yeah. It saves me from cursing a lot. I mean, I still do, but just not as much. Oh, you don't sell yours either, Cindy. I give them as gifts and donate them to my favorite charity store.
That's a great idea.
You know, I'm thinking about contacting, we have a local, it's a art center. I don't even know what it's called. They have like a gallery. They have a couple different galleries and stuff inside. But it's all for like, local artwork. And I've thought about just contacting them to see if they want to show any of mine because they're all so weird and different. Donating them to a charity,
cool,
people are going to be like, what? What is this?
So we look forward to seeing yours, Julie.
I would love to have like my own exhibit. That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be cool. Because I do a lot of sublimation work on fabric for my bags. I actually was doing some for a local art charity. I did the kids' art on bags and made them for them to auction them off to make money. But it was their art that I used, and it was pretty cool. That was really special.
Aww.
Because they're special needs kids, and it's like you should have seen their face when they saw their artwork on a bag. It was just a little tote, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah, my daughter's school's done that. She goes to a special needs school, and they didn't do sublimation, but they did like iron-ons for the kids, and they made like pillows and stuff. Yeah, and they've done it. They've done T-shirts too. And the kids just, I mean, they go crazy seeing all their artwork.
Well, it's such an achievement for them, eh? I think it's awesome.
Oh, it is, yeah. Okay, now we're gonna stitch.
Yep.
This is a little harder.
Around.
This part's a little harder to stitch because you kind of squish your bag.
Yeah.
This is the part where I want to cry because I'm hurting my bag, but it's fine. It's fine.
Well, don't make my new pattern then, because you will curse it. Oh, where's my zipper pull? Don't run over your zipper pull again. No, it's over back there.
Use your stiletto if you need to like help keep everything down. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, the sun has come out gorgeous now. It was a nasty foggy morning earlier, but it's nice and the sun's decided to make its
nice.
face known.
It's been raining all weekend here.
Oh.
Could use some sun.
I love a really cold morning with a bright, clear day. That's in the autumn. That's my favourite. You need to have a competition in your group for different emotion faces and see what people come up with.
I want to do some for Halloween.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Almost there.
Yes, done. It's not a cake tin, it is a bag.
Okay.
That's nice, Julie. That's really nice support.
Oh,
Now I take my
wait, what's
staples
happening?
out. Julie's bought the pattern and she's looking
Oh, wait, you
forward to
bought
making
it? You can get it for free.
Nope.
Oh, you're
I
so
bought
sweet.
it too. We've got to support each other.
Oh, thank you.
Because I know the hours that it takes designing these patterns. It's just not, it's not something that just happens overnight.
Well, this one's just literally pattern pieces. That's why I was like, I'm just going to give it away for free. Since there's really nothing else in there. Maybe at some point I'll actually put written instructions and step-by-step photos, but this was just meant for people to play with so they can practice.
Now, I just had my pliers. Now, where have I put them? Isn't that always the way?
I thought I
I
lost
put
my
them in
step
upside down
remover
so I
too.
can't see them.
Yes, Rain. Danielle does need to make a bunch of designs that can light up. That'd be awesome. And yes, jack-o'-lantern faces is what I was thinking too, Julie. I was also thinking about making a cauldron, like applique. And I wanted to put like little like smoke or something that would stick up from the top of the bag from the cauldron.
That'd be cool.
And like little
You could have a
handles on the
fringe hanging
sides.
down from the top that look like smoke.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I
And
wanted
have
to
something
do
going up the strap.
Ooh, yes. I want to do a Dracula face too. Like a vampire face. And then I wanted to do some wings on the side to make it a bat with a bat face.
Now, that'd be neat.
I think I've got all my staples.
Now, I had someone ask me for some goth core images. Do you know what goth core is? Just speaking about Halloween, because I'm like,
I'm assuming it's cottage core-ish, which is more like nature-y, but kind of, if they're talking goth, maybe a little bit more like dark.
like symmetries and
maybe
sort of
But I
architecture
would still
and stuff
think
like
if they're
that.
using the word core, I wonder if they're still thinking more nature though still.
Right, okay. because it's hard to know what, because different people have different countries think of things differently. So
Yeah.
I hope I'm getting my bin with all these staples, else I'm going to stand in them the minute I stand up.
Ooh, witch flying on a broom. Oh, so that the front part's like the moon, and you could put a witch on the front on a broom.
That'd be cool.
Moon. And a moon could light up. It's so fun.
I could see some cool bags coming here.
Because you could do it with maybe jelly vinyl for the moon, so that when it lights up, it looks like really, really cool. Okay. I'm just trimming things. Okay. So my version of binding is different. I use self-adhesive binding every chance I get because I'm scared of binding, even though most of my patterns have binding. So what I do is, oh, I don't even know if I have my lighter. It's here somewhere. Okay.
And what I'm doing is I'm just folding my binding over and rolling it under until it's the right width to fold around. And so you get your binding like that. I suppose it's hard to see black on black.
So I literally just fold it over once and I stitch. So this is my lazy way of doing binding.
If you're binding really is the right size, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to play with it. You can just bend it over.
Love that. I still clip mine even though it's self-adhesive. I just put a few clips just to kind of keep stuff in place.
I did think a while back someone needs to put out self-adhesive binding, and it's good to see that they have.
Yes. There's so many shops that have it now. Are there any shops near you that carry it?
No, everything has to come from Australia.
Oh, it stinks.
Yeah, so shipping is ridiculous. Yeah. I guess it's the same with Canada and the States, isn't it, at times? Like there's not, but I mean, this seems to be so much available in Canada, which is really cool from what I'm seeing.
There's a lot in Canada and the shipping isn't as bad.
Right. I wonder if it's the same with the UK. I wonder, you know, like different parts of Europe have different things available, don't they?
I don't know, because Emma was still saying she's still having trouble getting things.
You can't win, can you?
I think that's why she's having to source like all of her stuff for her boxes.
Yeah, see, I'm wanting to put a box together, and I'm going to get everything printed because I just can't just buy what I need. So it makes it just the turnaround time so long.
Yeah. Well, and your minimum quantities are pretty large.
Yeah. But there's just nothing like that you can get here. So everybody's like, we want to be the same as everybody else with these cool bag boxes and.
Yeah. Jill cut her binding 2 inches, correct?
No, it's.
Isn't that what you said?
What did I say it was? It's under 2 inches. So it's 4 centimeters. So what's that? I haven't got my conversion. So it's 40 millimeters, which I should know what that is.
I don't know.
It is probably about 1 3/4.
The self-adhesive binding doesn't gum up your needle at all. Yes, if I happen to sew over it a lot, but I check my needle every once in a while, and I just use these alcohol prep pads to clean off my needle if it does get all gummy. It comes right off, and then I keep sewing. It cost me over $100 to send my daughter a care package when she was in Sydney.
It's crazy. And that's from the US, Julie? That's just postage, yeah. You know, it's crazy. I just bought a lot of Giardini paint from Italy, of course. And they did a really good deal with shipping because I was buying so much. But sometimes it pays to actually ask the companies because their websites, what's on it, they can usually do a better price.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're shipping it yourself, that's difficult, hey? Because you're not getting business postage either. Now, I don't want to sew this now because it looks all pretty with the clips on it.
It looks
So I'm
so
going to have to
good.
sew it from the inside. And then, because I've used black, you probably can't tell, but it looks really tidy and on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to sew that way, which I don't like doing, but I will. You just won't be able to see what I'm doing, unfortunately. Yeah, just postage. That's crazy, Julie, eh? Yeah. I'm meant to be going to the States next year because I really want to see where my daughter's living. So I think I'll just have to send her lots of packages and pay extra shipping. Oh, do I change my cotton to black? Yeah, I probably should, eh? It's going to look way better if I change my cotton
Yes,
to
you
black.
should.
I hate changing my machine. Yes, Mum. I will change it. It will look much better.
You'll be thinking about it all night or all day if you do not.
I know. And it will look much nicer. And it's not really a big deal. It's just something that's... I do have bobbins wound. It's black. So with my binding, I just bought a whole lot of black fabric and a whole lot of a couple of neutral colours. Spent an afternoon cutting them and just folding one side, and I've got them all just sitting ready to use. Probably comes from my tailoring days though, because I used to do a lot of binding on suits. So I just like tight binding. I bought this the other week. It is a little container full of bobbins, and honestly, it is the best thing I've ever bought. I know it's simple.
Nice.
But it keeps everything where it should be.
I have one, but it's full and it's for a different machine. I need to get a new one.
And this one came with the bobbins, and because these machines take the M-size bobbins, they're really expensive here. Right. I changed to black. So
you
you're
just
not
need
going to
to
be able
send
to see
us a
what I'm
list of
sewing.
all of the supplies that you use, and we'll give you links for your daughter to buy it all to send to you.
I'll just buy it and send it all to her place. So I'm sewing this just under 6 mil, so it's just on the inside of my stitching, but you'll never see it.
And I'm just using this stiletto just to kind of hold everything down, the edge of my binding off of it, so it's nice and tight against the edge. I also use, if I can find it, I use a Beadsmith thread zap
Okay, yep.
to melt my threads. Oh, turn my camera around again. I don't know what's happening.
So I wonder why it automatically does that.
I don't know. It just doesn't like me. One side down. This is what
So
my
how wide
binding
is
looks
the fold?
like.
Oh, that's funny. My bobbin hasn't caught properly, and so it's not even sewing, and I'm halfway around the bag. So I wonder what's...
Huh.
Oh, no. Pays to check. Oh, it's popped out of its little thingy. Oh, it's been a day of it, Kim.
You know, your machine just doesn't want to work today.
Why not?
It's still in like weekend mode.
Okay, so now I'm going to have to pull all that out and put my clips back in. Well, it's just going to pull out because it's got nothing holding it. Be good if all seams just pulled out like that, eh?
Jill, where in the US is your daughter?
She is in New Mexico.
There's
So
some
that's
great food in
a
New
big change for
Mexico.
her. I've been doing some research and it looks like a really artsy kind of area where she is. So she's just outside of Albuquerque. So I'm
Yep.
like, I'm looking forward to going to visit.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that lives in Santa Fe, and it's very, very artsy where he is.
Oh, that's actually where she is. She's just sort of close to between Santa Fe and Albuquerque. I think that's how it works, if I get it right. Oops. Yeah, they got married during COVID, but she's just managed to get her green card to get there, so it's difficult.
Oh, wow. That took a while.
Yeah. Everything just closed down after COVID with immigration, so it's just taken so long. Right, we'll sew this again.
Sounds like you need to move to the US to be by your daughter.
I would not well, actually, I don't know. My other kids might complain, but yeah.
Just think of all the sewing
Beautiful
supplies you
bag
could get.
making. I know. Right, is that sewing this time? Yes, it's sewing this time. We have a seam, not just a whole lot of loops.
It cooperates for the rest of the time. Okay, so now it's time to check my needle to make sure it's not sticky. It is a little bit sticky. So all I do is grab the alcohol pad.
So do you just get your alcohol pads from a pharmacist or or a drugstore, or how does that work?
Amazon.
Okay.
I have like a pack of 100 or whatever it is. It's cheaper that way.
This machine's not bad, but occasionally I use my domestic and it's shocking, so I need to get some for that.
Okay. Trying to find my end. Here's somewhere. There it is. Squish your bag down.
So are you sewing from the inside, your flat side again? Yeah. See, that's the only good thing about doing your binding like that. You're sewing from that side, which is so much easier, eh? So that's my first side. Now my second side.
It still has me flipped around.
Oh,
I don't know why it's doing that.
that's strange that it's changing it.
I want to try that platform you were talking to me about and see if it's better for live streaming.
Yeah, I think we should have a play with it and get it. OBS is great for by yourself. That's brilliant because you can do so much with it. But
I haven't tried it yet. I know Emma was talking about it.
Yuki, how much of the alcohol do you drink though, Samantha? Like what kind of alcohol? Is it like one for the needle and one for you, or is it just? I don't know if that would be good for my sewing. Have you seen the mistakes I've been made today?
Maybe it would. Well, maybe you wouldn't.
It might have gone better. I know I
Maybe you'd be
play
trying
snooker
so
better
hard to
often.
concentrate that it wouldn't make mistakes.
Exactly. Maybe. So your next. Okay, so I've got to get to grips with what states are where in America.
So I'm on
So
the east coast of
Oklahoma,
the United States,
right.
northeast.
So I definitely want to visit. We'll probably fly into LA, and I definitely want to do New York, but there's a lot of space in between, so it's going to be a long trip.
I'm closer to New York.
Right.
New York is about a 4.5 hour drive from me.
Okay.
It's not far.
So I've been given lots of fabric places to get fabric in New York.
Yes.
Written down somewhere, yeah.
It's not cheap, but yes.
No, nothing in New York's cheap, eh? Accommodation's ridiculous.
If you stay in New Jersey, it's a little bit cheaper.
Right. But
does it harder
with transport, or do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can pay more getting into a city than you can just staying there.
Well, right. I mean, that's the problem. It's not very convenient. Even some of the Airbnbs are expensive now.
Yeah, and you hear some horror stories with Airbnbs, which kind of puts me off a little bit. We've never had
an issue,
a bad one, but yeah. I always say to people, if you ever come in this way, let me know and I'll give you recommendations of where not to stay and where to stay, because it's hard, without any local knowledge.
Yeah. I kind of mangled my circle when I was smashing everything down. We're good now.
I can't wait to tune mine out. I've got one clip to do.
I really want to fix this camera. Why is it doing this? Here, I'm going to turn it. Okay, we're going to turn it this way. You turn it the other way and see what happens.
Because it's staying the same way up, it's not slipping or anything. Now you're upside down.
Moved.
That's weird.
That didn't do anything.
My bag is finished. So that's my binding from the inside. If you can see that.
Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy. I'm trying.
That's it from the inside. And that's how your joins look when you've got them joined. They kind of, you can hardly see them. I'm going to turn my bag inside out.
All right. I'm going to leave it this way just because you can at least see what I'm doing.
I think Kim's just on a merry-go-round.
I don't know what's happening. I really don't. All right. These are not the easiest bags to turn.
Oh, that's so cute, even if I do say so myself. I've always got a vagrant thread sticking out the end. I'm glad you didn't do the zip along the edge of the bag. I'm not a fan of a zip running around a curve. I like to have it within a seam.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cute. Needs a bit of shaping.
This is why I like nice thick seams for
Yeah.
shapes like this, it really helps to have that structure. That's why I don't trim out
Yeah.
my seams.
Makes a big difference. Often if
Right.
a pattern requires me trim the seams, I often will go rogue and go, nope, I want
And
structure.
I always just press my seams. I kind of roll it between my fingers if I have to. The other thing you can try too, if you really need to, if it's not kind of cooperating and staying the way you want, it's kind of rolling back on itself, is you could take some clips and clip your seams so that it kind
Around
of
it.
pinches it.
Yeah. Shapes it. Yeah.
Or use a hair dryer, do that, and then
So I
remove
think
them
the only
after
bit
like
that's
30
not
seconds.
sitting really well for me is over the where it switches from the actual gusset over the thick seam at the join, but it'll shape. I'll put some clips on it overnight and it'll shape. And I do have some check webbing
Oh, there we go.
I'm going to make the strap out of.
Okay, so here's my front. Here's my back. Oh, I need to kind of shape him a little bit better, but
and I've got to put some rivets in the side.
Oh, I didn't put the rivets in. Well, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just going to put mine through the whole thing.
When
I
you're
actually
putting
quite
your
like to have
gussets
them through my lining.
together and you're going to top stitch this part, make sure you put your rivet in before you do any of that. And the rivet would go in right about here. You could still do the rivet even now. You could probably fit your rivet press in here and put a hole in and rivet it if you want to kind of secure these D-ring connectors more. I usually do it about like a quarter, about 3/8 to like 1/2 inch down. And I put my rivet.
Yep, wrong way.
Oh well, I'll do it afterwards.
And I'm just playing with putting my dog tags on because I keep putting it on the wrong way. But I want it that way.
Okay.
Right, so then I put my logo tag on the side of my D-ring like that. So you can see it in the camera. So I've just got it on a dog tag and it just hangs on there rather than having it on the front of the bag because I didn't know where to put it on the front. I thought it would ruin it. And it's the opposite side. Maybe I should put it on the same side as the zip bar. And I will make my strap offline because I'm going to find my check webbing, which I think will look real cool. That looks cool, Kim.
Yeah, so I
like
did
that stripy
striped
strap.
zipper,
Yeah.
striped strap, and I did my striped binding.
Cool.
So it looks really cute. It all matches.
I've got a webbing one that just sits up here, but it's just a black one, so that's not going to look as good as the one I will make for it, but it will show what it looks like with a strap.
I love yours. It's so pretty. It's so cute. I love the checkers.
I got that printed. I just did a checker thing and sent it off to a fabric printer and got a meter of it. Because I'll use it for all sorts of little trims and bits and pieces. But
I love it. It's
it does need
adorable.
a bit of shaping. I think they are very cute, Kim. Cool
I think
pattern.
so too. So fun.
Very Would a wide tape ribbon work for the binding? I'm a bit of a fan of bias because it has a stretch. Does your stick-on have any give it to it at all?
It does not, but it doesn't need to for something like this. So it's
Right. Yeah.
similar to like a grosgrain ribbon is what I would say. It
Right.
looks like. So I've used grosgrain ribbon as binding before, and yes, that does work. But like Jill is saying, there's no stretch to it. So as long as you keep that in mind, if you're using it for like points or anything, it's not or tight curves, it's not going to stretch over that curve. You're going to have to manipulate it.
Right.
It works. It's not like cotton binding.
Thanks, Sam. That bubble bag was a really cool bag to make, and just a little hack with that. But it was fun. It was a really cool pattern. Yeah. Thank you, Marilyn.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. As always, make sure that you like the video that you're watching now and subscribe to our channels. At least in my description on my YouTube channel, I did tag your channel too, Jill, so people can find you there under KiteCo.Creates, correct?
Yes,
On
that's
YouTube?
correct. And as soon as mine goes live on my YouTube, I can change it. I had limited ability to do what I did on mine at the moment, but it will definitely have both. And it's got the link in mine. I have the link to the pattern. So if you need the pattern, I do have the link to the pattern on my live as well. Thank you very much, Julie.
Right.
It
Yes,
was lots
thank
of
you,
fun.
everybody. Thanks for joining us. We had a great
And I'm
time.
glad I could show you how to fix all those mistakes.
I'm going to try your binding method.
Well, I tried your staples. I kind of think maybe we'll see.
Oh, I might have converted you. I'm so excited.
You might. Thanks, Rain. It was lots of fun. And I look forward to your visit. I'll make your room up.
There you go. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. All right. Bye.
Bye.